Chapter 2232. No problem. I'm an experienced player. Hell Demon Lord, Lava Demon Lord, and Soul-Eating Demon Lord. The three remaining Saint Lords of the demon race were each leading their teams flying in outer space. They had long since separated, heading in different directions. They had no purpose, not knowing where they could find a new home. Every demon in the team was prepared for endless wandering. Suddenly, the three Saint Lords stopped simultaneously, their bodies trembling, eyes filled with fear and anger, and deep despair.
The Demon Lord is dead. The demon ancestral land is gone. Our race is finished. We have no hope.
Pessimism filled every demon. With the ancestral land gone, they had truly become homeless wretches. The ancestral land is extremely important to a race. Races whose ancestral land was destroyed by Xiao Zhantian, even if they survived by luck, could hardly recover. And those races whose ancestral land survived, no matter how severely injured, could slowly recover their vitality. The ancestral land represents the luck and origin of a race. Now that the demon race's ancestral land is gone, these surviving demons have also lost hope. With endless despair, they set off again, flying towards the deep space of the outer realm. Lin Moyu emitted an aura of enlightenment. At the moment the ancestral land was refined into a world crystal, the rewards of the great world suddenly descended, and Lin Moyu entered a state of enlightenment. In the state of enlightenment, the power of laws was sublimated into the power of rules. Lin Moyu carefully felt the difference between laws and rules. As the power of rules grew stronger, this difference became more and more apparent. Laws and rules are not just different in strength, but also fundamentally different. Laws are about doing things with the tools provided by the great world. Rules, however, are defined by oneself. The power of rules has its own imprint, and all power is under one's control. Within one's own rules, all other laws are erased, and only one's own rules can exist. Moreover, the power of rules can be used to do things that defy common sense. For example, the time rule can make time flow backward within a certain range, making dead flowers bloom again, but only for a limited time. When the power of rules dissipates, everything returns to its original state. The space rule can forcibly merge two planets, not by collision, but by making space overlap. Under the power of rules, all kinds of magical things can happen. This aspect of power is not obvious when first entering the other shore realm, but it becomes prominent when reaching the Saint Lord level and having one's own rule world. In the rule world of a Saint Lord, the rules are entirely set by the Saint Lord. The Saint Lord's power is magnified, while external power is greatly weakened. In short, rules are magical. From the other shore realm to the heavenly sovereign, one needs to continuously enhance the power of rules. Learn it, master it, and play with it. The demon race is a strong race, powerful, and deeply connected with the great world. This time, eliminating them made the great world much easier, and Lin Moyu, being the main contributor, received the most rewards. The enlightenment lasted for 20 days before ending, with a large amount of law power being sublimated into the power of rules. Lin Moyu mastered 4 laws, requiring several times more time than other cultivators. Now, nearly half of Lin Moyu's law power has been sublimated, saving him hundreds of years of time through several enlightenments. Just as Lin Moyu finished his enlightenment, Lin Moxuan's cold voice came to his ears.
Didn't you say it would be quick?
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
There was an unexpected situation.
He didn't expect the great world to suddenly reward him, thinking that the reward would come after he killed all the demons. After all, there were still 3 Saint Lords and hundreds of thousands of demons fleeing outside, not yet dead. Unexpectedly, as soon as the ancestral land was destroyed, the reward arrived. Lin Moxuan said,
Is it done now? One more thing, right away.
As he spoke, flames ignited on Lin Moyu's body, and his expression twisted in extreme pain. The soul being burned by the world-burning fire, how could it not be painful? Fortunately, it didn't last long. The world-burning fire burned for 2 seconds and then cleared the poison. The world tree immediately followed up, healing Lin Moyu's soul. Lin Moyu gasped.
Done.
Lin Moshwan looked at him.
Be careful when playing with fire in the future.
Her tone seemed to blame, but more was concern. She knew what Lin Moyu was doing. The world-burning fire was very dangerous and could burn oneself to death if not careful. Lin Moyu grinned.
No problem. I'm an experienced player. Stop joking around.
Lin Moshwan scolded him, no longer paying attention to him. Lin Moyu rarely joked with people, only becoming casual in front of a few individuals. Lin Moshwan was one, and Antares could be considered another. The two returned to the War God Fortress. As soon as they landed, several Saint Lords simultaneously saluted Lin Moshwan.
Greetings, Fairy Xian.
In the great world, strength determines status, and the human race is no exception. Now Lin Moshwan is a half-step supreme, her status on par with Old Star and the human emperor. Several Saint Lords calling her
Lord.
would not be an exaggeration. Lin Moshwan said,
No need to be so polite. I don't handle affairs, only killing.
The Saint Lords understood Lin Moshwan's character. This young lady indeed didn't handle affairs. Fighting and killing were fine, but she rarely spoke during discussions. For handling affairs, it was more reliable to find Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled.
No need to be so polite, seniors. Now that the demon race is destroyed, let's proceed according to plan.
The War Saint Lord immediately responded.
All right.
The War God Fortress turned towards the direction of the Golden Eagle clan. Lin Moyu handed over 10,000 containment talismans to the Talisman Saint Lord, containing 10,000 star systems. Lin Moyu naturally didn't bother with such matters, only acting as a hands-off manager. The demon race's star domain became silent and dark, with all stars disappearing. The once bustling star domain turned into a dark void. The once powerful demon race was now wiped out. The wheel of time mercilessly rolled over. Once, the human race was almost crushed, but fortunately, they survived and pushed the wheel away. The demon race perished silently, and even when the War God Fortress arrived at the Golden Eagle clan's doorstep, the Golden Eagle clan had received no news. The Golden Eagle clan, like the demon race, closed their doors and tightened their defenses. Countless giant golden eagles hovered and flew in the star domain. This was the Golden Eagle clan's formation, evolving into golden eagles to protect the race. When the War God Fortress approached, the golden eagles immediately discovered it and continuously screamed to warn. The War God Fortress ignored it, continuing to charge towards the Golden Eagle clan. When the distance was still 10 million kilometers, the golden eagles charged like lightning, golden light filling the starry sky, launching a fierce attack on the War God Fortress. The War God Fortress glowed with a hum, smashing the golden eagles like tofu, then crashing into the Golden Eagle clan's star domain. The War God Fortress rampaged all the way, heading towards the core area of the Golden Eagle clan. The formations along the way couldn't stop it at all. Lin Moyu left the War God Fortress first, space gates appearing continuously, and the undead army appeared in the starry sky. Lin Moyu quickly deployed the undead army along the Golden Eagle clan's star domain, surrounding it. The method was the same as when dealing with the demon race. The method didn't need to be new, as long as it worked. The bone hell emerged, covering a large area of the star domain, directly swallowing two nearby star systems. The disaster belonging to the Golden Eagle clan had arrived. 2233 Chapter 2233. A bunch of cowardly Saint Lords. The Golden Eagle clan suffered an even worse fate than the demon race. In that great battle, none of their 4 Saint Lords survived. The Hawk Emperor's avatar led a large number of Golden Eagle clansmen to the Outer Realm, where they suffered heavy casualties in another battle at the border region. The Golden Eagle clan was now utterly depleted, with all their other Shore Realm experts gone and very few Divine Lord Realm experts remaining. The War God Fortress entered unopposed, with no one able to stop it. In just over 10 days, the War God Fortress had already reached the heartland of the Golden Eagle clan. In the core area of the Golden Eagle clan, a purple gold eagle could be seen. The purple gold eagle was the ancestral land of the Golden Eagle clan, as well as the totem of the Golden Eagle clansmen. The war god fortress headed straight for the purple gold eagle. The Sky Saint Lord said,
"The Hawk Emperor should come out now, right? It's about time. The Hawk Emperor is also likely a half-step supreme. He won't just watch his race be annihilated. After all, they are one of the strong races. The demon race had hidden strength, and they must have some too. We need to be careful. Even if they have some hidden strength, I'm afraid it won't help much, unless they can produce a true supreme."
How could the Golden Eagle clan possibly have a supreme? If they really had a supreme, the human race would have been wiped out long ago. After fighting each other for so many years, everyone knew what cards the others held. The demon lord being able to control a supreme realm corpse was already unexpected. Here in the Golden Eagle clan, there shouldn't be so many surprises, right? As the Saint Lords were talking, they suddenly all changed expression and looked ahead. A terrifying aura spread through space, and an immense pressure bore down on them, making their thoughts chaotic and extremely uncomfortable. A white gold light flew out from the ancestral land of the Golden Eagle clan, and dragon roars echoed through space. It was a dragon, over 100,000 meters long. Most strangely, its head was that of a golden eagle, and it had a pair of huge eagle wings on its body. Though its form was bizarre, its aura was truly that of a supreme. The Sky Saint Lord smiled bitterly.
"Who was the last to speak just now? Talk about a jinx."
Indeed, it was a jinx. They had just said the Golden Eagle clan wouldn't have a supreme, and then a supreme appeared. The Tao Saint Lord said in a low voice,
"That's the Hawk Emperor. What did he do to himself to end up like this?"
The War Saint Lord added,
"It's definitely the Hawk Emperor, no mistake. He turned himself into a supreme, but he looks unstable."
The Hawk Emperor opened his mouth and screeched, but what came out was a dragon's roar. His gaze was somewhat cloudy, as if he had lost his rationality. Dragon roars continued to sound as space churned into huge waves, directly forcing the war god fortress back. Lin Moyu flew out of the war god fortress.
"You all retreat. I'll go slay him."
Little Mist responded,
"Master Sister, Little Mist will help you."
The Law of Luck rose up as Little Mist cursed the Hawk Emperor, her sweet voice ringing out.
"You're going to have bad luck."
Lin Moyu also heard the dragon roars and sensed the supreme aura. His mind stirred and he took out the dragon-seeking orb. The distance was too great, so the dragon-seeking orb had no reaction. The wings of the dead fluttered as a spatial gate opened. Lin Moyu instantly traversed tens of millions of light years to approach the battlefield. The dragon-seeking orb reacted, pointing directly at the Hawk Emperor.
"The Dragon Pearl is indeed here."
The third Dragon Pearl was indeed in the Hawk Emperor's possession. That's why he had searched outside for so long without finding the third Dragon Pearl. At the time, he had guessed that as long as the Dragon Pearl was still within the domain, it was very likely in the Golden Eagle clan. The Hawk Emperor not only obtained the Dragon Pearl, but has now forcibly absorbed and fused with it, turning himself into this strange dragon-eagle hybrid monster. With the Dragon Pearl, the Hawk Emperor's aura had indeed reached the Supreme Realm, but his aura was very unstable. He was not a true Supreme. Lin Moyu had already begun to attack. Lin Moyu showed no concern in his eyes. This kind of opponent was not worth worrying about for his sister. The Sword of Destruction appeared, with a purple line running through the blade, adding a touch of nobility to the Sword of Destruction. Powerful sword intent surged through space, tearing apart the void. Lin Moyu gripped the Sword of Destruction in her right hand, once again grasping her rule world. At this moment, she merged with her rule world, becoming stronger as her battle power rose sharply. The Heaven and Earth sword also flew out, merging into the Sword of Destruction, further amplifying its power. Space trembled and swayed, as if unable to withstand the power of the Sword of Destruction, constantly collapsing. Star systems within 1 light year suddenly shattered at this moment. Even before officially striking with the sword, Star systems were already unable to withstand it. The war god fortress glowed all over as all its formations activated at full power, barely managing to defend against it.
Retreat quickly.
The Sky Saint Lord called out urgently. The War Saint Lord immediately controlled the war god fortress to retreat. Only then did they understand that when Lin Moyu told them to retreat, she wasn't joking. The Tao Saint Lord said,
So powerful. What a pity about those star systems.
The Kill Saint Lord joked.
Then why don't you ask Fairy Xian to go easy?
The Tao Saint Lord gave him a look.
Do I look like an idiot?
The Kill Saint Lord snorted.
Coward. Then why don't you go? Hell no.
Please vote, the Sword Saint Lord calmly said.
A pair of cowards.
The Hawk Emperor sensed Lin Moyu's terrifying power, but his eyes were clouded, as if he had lost his rationality. Fusing with the Dragon Pearl did not come without a price. While gaining immense power, he also lost something. But if he didn't do this, he would have had no chance at all. Now, at least he could fight for a chance. The Hawk Emperor spewed out dragon breath that turned into golden mist rushing towards Lin Moyu. At the same time, the scales on his body exploded, transforming into starry arrows raining down like raindrops. Lin Moyu had built up to the extreme and suddenly swung her sword, one sword to part the sea. A giant sword without borders appeared in space, simultaneously evolving into a vast sea. Lin Moyu transformed into a supreme swordsman, slashing down with one sword to split open the sea. The worlds floating in the sea were all destroyed by this one sword strike. This sword was extremely terrifying, shockingly powerful. The Saint Lords who had already retreated tens of millions of miles all spat blood at the same time, looking at each other in shock and terror. Even separated by tens of millions of miles, they still couldn't withstand the aftershocks, their souls simultaneously shaken. If they had faced this sword strike head-on, they probably wouldn't even have any remains left. Lin Moyu's strength had reached such a level that her true battle power far surpassed a half-step supreme. All of the Hawk Emperor's attacks were like child's play under this one sword, completely destroyed. Space collapsed as laws were annihilated. The Hawk Emperor instinctively wanted to flee, but found he couldn't move. The Dragon Pearl seemed to have malfunctioned and was no longer under his control. He was engulfed by the sword light amidst screams. The sword light passed by, shattering several star systems along the way. Countless Golden Eagle clansmen died under the sword. The Hawk Emperor couldn't even withstand one sword strike before being obliterated. Only a Dragon Pearl hung motionless in space. Lin Moyu stood with her sword sheathed. After her great increase in strength, she was not too weakened from unleashing this sword strike, and still had strength to fight. She turned and flew back, transmitting to Lin Moyu.
The rest is up to you.
Lin Moyu and Lin Moyu exchanged positions as he arrived next to the Dragon Pearl and took it in hand. The next part was his job. The Golden Eagle clan was on the verge of extinction, with no chance left. Even their ancestral land would be refined into a world crystal, becoming material for Lin Moyu's path of advancement, or perhaps material needed for building the new divine path. The law of cause and effect once again demonstrated its power at this moment, the cause from the past, the effect in the present. The bone hell drifted through space, bringing death. 2234, 2234. Chapter 2234. Habitual. Can't change. Between the 4-star regions of the human race, there are areas of dark void. These are the remnants of the Black Blood Great World's invasion, scars left in the Great World. For millions of years, the dark void has persisted, a wound from the past that has never healed. Recently, the cross-domain teleportation arrays of the 4-star regions have collectively paused, and everyone is forbidden from entering the dark void. The human race's formations are operating just like during the 100 Races War, activating defense mode. In front of the cross-domain teleportation array of the Xuanwu Star region, Lin Moyu and Lin Moyu stood side by side. Lin Moyu was elegant and graceful, like a peerless young master. Lin Moyu was heroic and beautiful, with an exceptional appearance. As the two stood there, they immediately attracted countless gazes. Their auras were concealed, making it impossible to discern their realms or how powerful they were. Their names and information were hidden, otherwise it would be too conspicuous. Lin Moyu asked,
Sister, are you really going with me?
Lin Moxuan glanced over with her beautiful eyes.
Is there a problem?
Lin Moyu was at a loss for words.
Of course, no problem.
How could he dare say there was a problem? That would be inviting a beating due to the suppression from their bloodline. At this time, several months had passed since the Golden Eagle clan was exterminated. All the Golden Eagle clan members were killed, and their star systems were brought back to the human race and were currently being transformed. The ancestral land of the Golden Eagle clan was refined into a world crystal by the world-burning fire, becoming Lin Moyu's material. Afterward, Lin Moyu received another reward from the Great World, entering a state of enlightenment for over 20 days. Now, he had converted 2/3 of his laws into the power of rules, completely stabilizing within the other shore realm. The 100 races were exterminated, and the karma of the Great World was mostly severed. Now, the only remaining threat was the Black Blood Great World. Lin Moyu had spent decades searching for the Dragon Pearl, while also looking for traces of the Black Blood Great World, but had not found them. Having searched within the domain, Lin Moyu finally locked his target on the Dark Void, suspecting that the Black Blood Great World might be hiding there. Lin Moyu had considered going alone, but Lin Moxuan insisted on following. After all, it was the Black Blood Great World, a world that once fought fiercely with the Great World. Even if it was just residual strength, it was not comparable to demons or the Golden Eagle clan. Since Lin Moxuan wanted to follow, he naturally let her, not daring to oppose. Lin Moyu looked at the Dark Void and whispered,
Sister, after dealing with the Black Blood Great World, I need to prepare to welcome the Battle Realm.
There were still over 1,200 years until the Battle Realm arrived. Exterminating the 100 races was faster than they expected, giving them more preparation time. Lin Moxuan said,
After dealing with the Black Blood Great World, I will also walk my own path.
At this moment, a young cultivator approached, landing in front of the two. He was tall and handsome, exuding vitality, and had reached the realm of a minor god. However, his aura was still unstable, indicating that he had only recently reached the minor god realm. This was a young genius of the human race. In recent years, many young geniuses had emerged within the human race. The human race's luck was strong, continuously breaking previous records. Now, most human cultivators could break through to the super god realm before the age of 100, and those with great talent could break through at the age of 70. The previous standard of 100 years was no longer applicable. Those geniuses could reach the God King realm at 300 years old and the minor god realm at 600 years old. Their cultivation speed was much faster than the older generation, and it seemed that the human race's former glory was about to return. One genius after another emerged, gaining great fame within the human race. The young man in front of them was named Mu Liangyu, a genius in the Xuanwu star region. He had reached the minor god realm before the age of 700 and was expected to advance to the god realm within another 100 years. Mu Liangyu approached the two, cupped his fists, and greeted,
Mu Liangyu greets you, junior brother and junior sister.
He felt that Lin Moyu and Lin Moxuan were younger than him, their auras concealed, and their cultivation should be lower than his, so he decisively called them junior brother and junior sister. Lin Moyu asked,
What's the matter?
Mu Liangyu said,
Liangyu saw that the two of you have extraordinary bearing, and you must be geniuses from a prestigious family. I came to make your acquaintance.
He was straightforward and spoke the truth. However, he only told half the truth. His gaze was always attracted to Lin Moxuan, clearly indicating that he was mainly interested in her. Lin Moyu nodded.
Understood, you may leave now, don't disturb us.
Mu Liangyu was slightly taken aback.
Why does junior brother reject people from 1,000 miles away? Liangyu just wants to make friends.
Lin Moxuan suddenly smiled.
Yes, little brother, why reject people from 1,000 miles away?
Hearing Lin Moxuan call him little brother, Mu Liangyu was overjoyed.
So they are siblings.
Siblings, not a couple, that was great news. He almost called out, brother-in-law. Seeing Lin Moxuan smile, Mu Liangyu was stunned on the spot, murmuring,
How can someone be so beautiful?
Lin Moxuan's beauty was such that even those with a firm Tao heart in the other shore realm found it hard to resist, let alone a minor god. Just a smile could make people lose their minds. Not only Mu Liangyu, but some young people nearby were also captivated by Lin Moxuan's smile. Lin Moyu helplessly glanced at Lin Moxuan. His sister was teasing him again. He sighed.
Since I can't reject people from 1,000 miles away, then 10,000 miles it is.
With a slight release of his aura, Mu Liangyu was instantly sent flying uncontrollably. He couldn't speak or move, flying further and further away, far beyond 10,000 miles. Everyone was stunned, not understanding how Mu Liangyu was suddenly sent flying. Moreover, he flew so far that he was out of sight. Lin Moxuan chuckled.
Little Yu is really straightforward.
Lin Moyu said.
Habitual, can't change.
Lin Moxuan was usually cold, but when she joked, she was entirely different. Of course, this side of her was only seen by Lin Moyu.
Let's go.
Lin Moyu flew up, turning into a stream of light and entering the dark void. Lin Moxuan sighed.
Little brother is becoming colder.
She also stepped lightly, entering the dark void. Seeing the two pass through the formation and enter the dark void, the onlookers were in an uproar.
Heavens, how can they go out? Didn't the Human Emperor Network say no one could go out? Why can they go out? Why don't they have to follow the Human Emperor Network's orders? Do they have a special status? Their auras are concealed. I suspect they are at least gods, maybe even ancestors of the other shore realm. If they are indeed ancestors of the other shore realm, Mu Liangyu was really blind, deserved to be taught a lesson. By the way, that fairy is truly beautiful. I've never seen anyone so beautiful.
At this moment, someone coldly said,
A bunch of ignorant guys, that's Mr. Lin and Fairy Han, figures on par with the Holy Sovereign. Mr. Lin? Fairy Han? Are they Lin Moyu and Lin Moxuan? Indeed, it's them, no wonder.
Various discussions continued, and the names of Lin Moyu and Lin Moxuan had reached their peak within the human race. Countless young people idolized them, working hard in cultivation, hoping to one day become pillars of the human race like them. In the dark void, the bone hell turned into a mist, advancing all the way. Further away, the undead army spread out, conducting a carpet search of the dark void. As long as the Black Blood Great World was here, it would be found sooner or later. 2235, 2235. Chapter 2235. When will you continue the family line? In the dark void, there were many cosmic beasts, second only to the border region in number and realm. These cosmic beasts were infected by the power of the Black Blood Great World, becoming extremely bloodthirsty with little rationality. Once they discovered other living beings, they would pursue and kill them. The existence of cosmic beasts became an obstacle for many cultivators, one of the dangers of the dark void. Besides this, there were also many ancient relics left behind here. These relics also contained dangers, the second danger of the dark void. In ancient times, the dark void was one of the battlefields, where many supreme saints had fallen, and many rule worlds had not completely shattered. After hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, many of these rule worlds became places worth exploring, where one could find inheritances left behind by ancient powerhouses. The human race had explored the dark void for many years, and many relics had been discovered, from which they obtained quite a few valuable inheritances. At the same time, many cultivators had paid with their lives for this.
I once encountered a being here who had survived from ancient times to the present. His strength should have reached the supreme level in ancient times, but he was severely injured and used some special secret realms to survive until now. When he was discovered, his strength was no longer even at the half-step supreme level. I joined forces with Sky Saint Lord and House Saint Lord to kill him. This was also the first black blood person I killed.
Lin Moyu recounted his past experiences as a story, telling it to Lin Moshwan. Encountering cultivators from the Black Blood Great World in the Dark Void was just a small episode. However, this was also his first major battle with cultivators from the Black Blood Great World, and it was always a part of his memories. Over the years, the lives of the two had been completely different. Lin Moshwan's life was quiet and monotonous, constantly cultivating to become stronger, not doing much else. Lin Moyu's life, on the other hand, was full of crises, constantly becoming stronger in the face of danger, growing ever more powerful. Lin Moyu had many stories, too many to tell. Lin Moshwan listened attentively. When Lin Moyu had finished speaking, she suddenly asked,
Sister Yushu must be very beautiful, right? Indeed, quite beautiful.
Lin Moyu instinctively replied, then suddenly realized something was amiss and looked at Lin Moshwan.
Sister, what do you mean?
Lin Moshwan continued,
That star space mermaid princess must also be very beautiful.
Lin Moyu sensed something was wrong. His sister's thoughts seemed to be developing in an unpredictable direction. Lin Moyu felt he should stop this topic, but Lin Moshwan didn't let him off.
Little you, between Yu Zhu and the star space mermaid princess, who is more beautiful? Which one do you prefer?
Lin Moyu was exasperated.
Sister, the topic has gone off track.
Lin Moshwan shook her head.
I told you in the small world that you need to continue the family line for the Lin family, but unfortunately you haven't been able to do so all these years. As your sister, I naturally worry for you. I didn't interfere before because there were other matters, but now that everything is settled, I naturally have to manage this.
Lin Moyu said,
Stop, I have wives, and you have sisters-in-law, 4 of them.
Lin Moshwan didn't see it that way.
The 4 sisters-in-law are still in deep sleep. You need to help them defy fate, at least reach the heavenly sovereign level, which is still far off. You know how difficult it is to reach heavenly sovereign. You might die any day. We can't count on the 4 sisters-in-law for now, so let's think about those we can count on. Yu Zhu, Yu Qingru, Oh, and that Lillian.
Lin Moyu realized his sister had entered matchmaking mode, which was completely out of character. His eyes darted around, and Lin Moyu asked,
Don't just talk about me. What about you, sister? Do you have someone you like?
Now Lin Moshwan's reputation was at its peak, almost becoming the human race's #1 beauty, and many talented young men wanted to become her Dao companion. Lin Moshwan said,
I don't care. As long as they can meet 2 conditions, I can consider marrying them.
Lin Moyu scoffed.
With your 2 conditions, who could possibly meet them?
Lin Moshwan said indifferently,
Then it's not my fault.
Lin Moshwan had mentioned her 2 conditions before. First, the person must not be more than 5 years older than her. Second, they must be able to defeat her in battle. These 2 conditions, looking at the entire great world, were impossible for anyone to meet. People of the same age as Lin Moshwan were mostly still at the True God realm. To defeat Lin Moshwan was simply a pipe dream. Lin Moshwan then said,
Don't change the subject. Let's continue talking about your matter. What exactly are you going to continue the family line?
Lin Moyu lived up to his name, remaining silent without uttering a word. In this situation, the more he said, the more mistakes he might make. It was better not to say anything. The bone hell brought a glimmer of light to the dark void, devouring countless cosmic beasts. After entering the dark void for over a month, the bone hell had devoured at least hundreds of thousands of cosmic beasts, but still showed no signs of change. After advancing to the other shore realm, the bone hell's upgrades had become extremely slow. Lin Moyu could understand this. After all, with billions of other shore realm hell fiends, their mouths open wide, waiting to be fed, it wasn't easy to satisfy them all. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. The dark void was just an appetizer. The main course hadn't arrived yet. 2 months later, the undead army conducting a carpet search sent back news that they had discovered some anomalies. Lin Moyu said in a low voice.
We have a discovery.
The wings of the dead spread out, the spatial law surged, and a spatial gate opened. The two passed through the spatial gate, traversing thousands of light years. They entered the depths of the dark void, not the center, still over 1,000 light years from the central point.
It stinks.
Lin Moxuan frowned, her eyes showing intense disgust. The space here was filled with an indescribable stench that reached directly into the soul. Even sealing off one's sense of smell had no effect. Lin Moxuan's body emitted a rosy glow, her soul power surging to block out the stench. Lin Moyu did the same. He flicked his finger, and clusters of undying flames flew out, illuminating the dark void.
Over there.
In the gray light, they saw a mass of polluted blood. The polluted blood was black and foul-smelling, with bubbles constantly rising from it. It was over 100,000 meters in diameter, suspended in the dark void. Besides the stench, the polluted blood was also filled with the aura of the black blood great world. Lin Moyu said in a low voice,
No mistake, it's the aura of the black blood great world. This polluted blood should have been formed by cosmic beasts. What is the black blood great world trying to do?
Lin Moxuan said.
Who cares what they're trying to do, let's just destroy it.
As she spoke, a sword light flashed from Lin Moxuan's hand, slashing towards the polluted blood. She inexplicably despised the polluted blood and struck without mercy. Lin Moyu didn't stop her, but watched as the sword light hit the polluted blood. The sword light passed through the polluted blood and flew into the distance, but the polluted blood remained motionless, showing no change. It still floated in space, emitting a strong stench.
It didn't work?
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. His mind stirred, and the undead army immediately launched an attack on the polluted blood. Space shook, and the other shore realm attacks cracked space like a spider web. However, all attacks passed through the polluted blood without affecting it at all.
Interesting.
Lin Moyu's lips curled into a smile. It had been a long time since he'd seen something so intriguing. His attacks actually had no effect. At this moment, his soul felt a slight pain, and an immense sword intent erupted beside him. The sword of destruction appeared behind Lin Moxuan, slashing down towards the polluted blood. From her appearance, it seemed she had truly become angry. Lin Moyu found it strange why his sister would hate the black blood great world so much. The disgust in Lin Moxuan's eyes was obvious and couldn't be hidden. The sword of destruction shattered space. Large areas of space collapsed, exposing the deep layers of space. The spatial turbulence was immediately annihilated by the sword light. 2236, 2236. Chapter 2236. World Origin, River of Time. Lin Moxuan's sword strike was extremely powerful, capable of easily killing even those in the other shore realm. The polluted blood twisted in the sword light, but still wasn't greatly affected. The sword light passed through the polluted blood and disappeared into the deep darkness. Lin Moyu said in a low voice,
Sister, don't try anymore, let me think.
Lin Moxuan put away her sword, but the disgust in her eyes grew deeper. She simply closed her eyes, out of sight, out of mind. Even she didn't know why she hated the black blood great world so much. It seemed like an innate instinct. Lin Moyu looked at the polluted blood, pondering the situation just now.
The polluted blood twisted in the sword light, so there was some effect, just very weak.
His mind stirred, and the skeleton general flew out, trying to touch the polluted blood. The skeletal hand passed through the polluted blood, with no contact between them. The polluted blood was visible to the naked eye, but couldn't be touched.
Could it be time and space?
Lin Moyu's mind stirred, thinking of a possibility. Although it could be seen, it was in a different time and space, so it couldn't be touched. Lin Moyu thought of when he had once encountered a powerful being from the black blood great world in a secret realm. At that time he was still very weak, and saw the ancient great battle through an ancient talisman. The powerful being from the black blood great world fighting the ancient talisman warrior seemed to see him through time and space. Thinking back now, it was still vivid in his mind. This could prove that the Black Blood Great World also had research on time and space, possibly even deeper than the Great World. It's just that their time-space laws were different, so Lin Moyu didn't sense it at first. Lin Moyu muttered to himself,
If it really is the power of time and space, what exactly does the Black Blood Great World want to do?
the best way to deal with the power of time and space is with the power of time and space. Ordinary levels of power are difficult to affect it. The time and space law star rivers appeared, and the power of time and space fused in Lin Moyu's hand. At the same time, the bone hell also appeared in his hand, the power of time and space enveloping the bone hell and himself, connecting as one. The bone hell flew out towards the polluted blood. The moment the power of time and space enveloped his body, Lin Moshwan lost her sense of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was clearly in front of her eyes, but it was as if he had entered another layer of time and space, visible but untouchable. The bone hell made contact with the polluted blood, but the two didn't collide, seemingly overlapping but not touching. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. He began to adjust the power of time and space, from weak to strong, constantly changing its frequency. He didn't know how many layers of time and space there were, so he just controlled the power of time and space, constantly adjusting. Lin Moyu's time flow speed kept changing, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, his whole person flickering in and out of existence. The power of time and space was very mysterious. Lin Moyu knew he had only touched the surface. There was still a long way to go. Finally, the bone hell and the polluted blood entered the same time and space, instantly colliding. Like boiling water poured into hot oil, the polluted blood immediately boiled. Two powerful forces collided, time and space suddenly collapsed, and the two separated again. Lin Moyu withdrew the power of time and space, returning to normal time and space. Although it was only an instant of contact, it was enough. The bone hell had completed its marking.
I can't remember how long it's been since I used this technique.
Lin Moyu smiled, taking out corpse after corpse. Each corpse fragment was from the other shore realm, from various race powerhouses and cosmic beasts. As his strength grew stronger and stronger, the marking function of the bone hell was used less and less frequently. He didn't expect to be able to use it now. White star level technique. Corpse explosion. Bang. The corpse turned to dust. A violent explosion occurred on the polluted blood, but because it was in a different time and space, no sound was heard. The polluted blood boiled like a volcanic eruption. A large amount of polluted blood annihilated in the explosion, instantly reducing it by a large chunk. One characteristic of corpse explosion is that the attack ignores all obstacles and time limits. To put it bluntly, this characteristic can ignore the obstruction of time and space power, directly targeting the essence. Even hiding in different time and space is useless, it will still be attacked.
Not bad.
Lin Moyu was very satisfied with the effect of the technique. Corpses continuously disappeared, explosions one after another. The polluted blood was annihilated at an alarming rate, becoming less and less. In the blink of an eye, only half of the polluted blood remained, and the stench had also lessened considerably. The polluted blood churned endlessly, and Lin Moyu saw something unusual in it.
What's that?
Lin Moshwan also saw it.
It looks like some kind of crystal.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Let's blast away a bit more, to see it more clearly.
The crystal hidden in the polluted blood was somewhat unusual, very likely the main reason for the formation of the polluted blood. It might also be some kind of arrangement by the Black Blood Great World. The Black Blood Great World arranging polluted blood here and using the power of time and space. Their purpose was definitely not simple. After several more explosions, the polluted blood became even less, revealing most of the crystal. An unusual aura emanated from the crystal, and Lin Moyu frowned.
Origin power.
Lin Moshwan also responded.
That's right, it's origin power.
Not ordinary origin power, but the origin power of the Black Blood Great World. The aura emanating from it made Lin Moyu feel uncomfortable, and Lin Moshwan was extremely disgusted. Suddenly, the crystal began to shake. The power of time and space was stirred up, raising huge waves.
Be careful.
Lin Moyu and Lin Moyu reacted at the same time, immediately retreating, instantly withdrawing millions of miles. The space where they had been exploded, enveloped by a jet-black light. Everything within the light was ground to dust. The nearby undead army was swallowed by the black light, instantly dying. Even the immortal undead lost their effect and couldn't be revived. The grinding from the power of time and space was extremely powerful. Even a Saint Lord would have trouble if encountered. The crystal was releasing the origin power of the black blood great world, glittering in space. The origin power was very strong, churning time and space into a mess. The undead army launched attacks but had no effect on the power of time and space. Lin Moyu also tried swinging her sword, with the same result. The power of time and space was mysterious and powerful. Ordinary attacks were ineffective.
Using the origin of a world to set up an arrangement, the black blood great world is really going all out.
Lin Moyu snorted coldly. Ordinary attacks were useless, but his corpse explosion might not be. Corpse explosion blasted out again. Explosion after explosion, the crystal shook more and more violently. Its sturdiness exceeded Lin Moyu's imagination. Although corpse explosion could shake it, it couldn't cause real damage. Lin Moyu was about to use a Saint Lord corpse when suddenly both of them looked up. Several beams of light were seen shooting from afar, passing through the dark void, converging with the crystal of the black blood great world. The originally lightless dark void suddenly lit up, and a giant river appeared in space. Lin Moyu's expression changed slightly.
This is the River of Time.
In the Divine City, several Saint Lords flew out simultaneously. The human emperor and Old Star also appeared together. They also saw the River of Time, vast and boundless, just floating there in space. Not just them, but any cultivator in the human race's star region, as long as they had reached the other shore realm, could see the River of Time. The human emperor and Old Star's expressions changed drastically.
Something's wrong.
2237 2237. Chapter 2237. Supreme? It's not like we haven't killed one before. Something went wrong, and Lin Moyu, the instigator, knew it too. The River of Time, a forbidden realm that even heavenly sovereigns find difficult to enter, is useless even for the Time Heavenly Sovereign. It has no rule threshold, yet it has the highest threshold. In the great world, if anyone has ever entered the River of Time, it would only be that mysterious master. But whether he actually entered or not, nobody knows. The appearance of the River of Time made Lin Moyu realize that things were not good. The other three sources of origin power came from three different areas of the Dark Void. The four areas of Dark Void were connected by origin power, vast and magnificent, yet also carrying a blood-colored terror. Lin Moyu had a sudden realization.
I know what they're trying to do. They're using the origin power of the black blood great world to summon the River of Time, attempting to call forth the powerful beings from the black blood great world's past.
Summoning the powerful beings from the River of Time to the present world for battle. This method certainly couldn't last long, but it didn't need to. If they could summon a heavenly sovereign, even for just half a day, it would be enough to destroy most of the human race's star regions. Then all the efforts made before would be in vain. The most terrifying thing is that a heavenly sovereign can directly attack the great world's runes. In their current state, the runes certainly couldn't withstand another heavy blow. The River of Time flowed slowly, with figures of people appearing in it. Each figure was a powerful being from the past, with terrifying auras. They were all powerful beings from the Black Blood Great World, once great existences in the history of the Black Blood Great World. Among them were several auras that Lin Moyu knew he was no match for just by sensing them. If such figures descended to the present world, he would surely die, and any resistance would be futile. A fierce look flashed in Lin Moyu's eyes as he gritted his teeth.
What a vicious method.
Naturally, he wouldn't sit idly by. He took out all the Saint Lord corpses he had, and the colorful water flew out recklessly, with a full 1,000 drops on each corpse. Over 10 million portions of belief power burned fiercely, pushing the power of the technique to the extreme. White star level technique. corpse explosion. The Saint Lord corpses turned to dust, exploding violently on the crystal. The crystal rumbled continuously, finally showing cracks on its surface. Lin Moyu spared no cost, using up all the Saint Lord corpses he had. Explosion after explosion continued, ignoring space and transcending time. The crystal endured the impact of corpse explosion again and again. Each explosion was more powerful than a Saint Lord's full-power attack. The cracks on the crystal grew more and more numerous. Finally, after 6 consecutive corpse explosions, the crystal shattered. The origin power dispersed, and of the 4 sources of origin power, only 3 remained. The river of time was shaken, and the auras that had appeared in it immediately weakened. Those few overwhelmingly powerful auras that inspired despair disappeared. This was all Lin Moyu could do. The other 3 sources of origin power converged in the river of time, and he was powerless to stop it. The Black Blood Great World's arrangements over countless years couldn't be so easily broken. Being able to weaken it was already no small feat. Lin Moyu looked at the river of time and murmured,
The Black Blood Great World probably wasn't fully prepared. They were forced to suddenly activate their plan when we stumbled upon it. They've accumulated such an enormous power, using the blood essence of cosmic beasts as a catalyst and origin power as the main force to summon the river of time. The more power they accumulate, the higher the realm of the powerful beings they can summon. The 4 areas of dark void are like 4 strongholds. Now that I've destroyed a quarter of the strongholds, the powerful beings they can summon should be weaker than before. I could sense the aura of a heavenly sovereign earlier, but now that aura is gone. What's coming should be a supreme.
Lin Moshwan listened to Lin Moyu's explanation and calmly said,
Even if it's a supreme that comes, they won't exist for long. As long as we can hold out, they'll return to the river of time.
Lin Moyu said,
The great world will make corrections. If the great world's power was strong and undamaged, they wouldn't even be able to summon anything. But now, the great world is too weak, and I'm afraid it will be difficult to make corrections.
Summoning powerful beings from the river of time is essentially breaking the rules. The great world naturally won't allow it and will make corrections. But the great world's power is now very weak, and corrections will be very slow, meaning they'll need to hold out for a long time. Lin Moshwan suddenly chuckled.
Then let's not hold out. No matter who comes, we'll just kill them.
Seeing this, Lin Moyu suddenly felt relaxed too.
Sister is right. We can't fight a heavenly sovereign, but a supreme? It's not like we haven't killed one before.
He had killed the Forest Supreme, and although it wasn't directly by his hand in the end, it could still be counted as his kill. As for pseudo-supremes like the Demon Lord and Hawk Emperor, he had killed 2 of them. This kind of thing is nothing. The river of time rolled on, with countless figures surging and roaring within it, emitting terrifying auras. They were struggling frantically, trying to break out, but an invisible force blocked them, and they couldn't get out. The origin power of the Black Blood Great World continued to exert force, growing stronger and stronger, finally opening a channel. The channel only lasted for an instant, summoning a warrior from the river of time. The person who left the river of time wore black clothes and held a slender blood sword, emitting a shocking aura.
Lin Moyu sighed.
Fortunately, it's not a heavenly sovereign.
Lin Moshwan smiled.
I don't know which era this powerful being is from, but since they've come here, let them disappear forever.
Lin Moyu also smiled.
Indeed, we don't even need to leave the slightest trace.
He didn't know which era this person was from, but Lin Moyu knew that as long as he killed them, even their traces in the river of time would be completely erased. That would be true death, with no trace to be found throughout history. Even the people of the Black Blood Great World would lose all memories of them. Everything would disappear. The black-clad person burst out of the river of time, black chi rolling, letting out an angry roar.
Fight.
He took a deep breath, and light suddenly bloomed in the dark void. It wasn't that there was a light source, but that he had absorbed all the darkness, making a large area of space bright. The black-clad person's momentum was strong as he charged towards Lin Moshwan, Lin Moyu let out a light shout, the sword of destruction appearing in her hand behind her back. The sword intent tore through space, rumbling loudly.
One sword to part the sea.
The starry sky transformed into a vast sea of realms, and Lin Moyu, holding the sword of destruction, slashed to split open the sea, simultaneously destroying all the worlds within it. The sword light exploded, and an immense sword without borders appeared in space, slashing towards the black-clad person. Seeing this sword for the third time, Lin Moyu still found it shocking. This sword was extremely terrifying and shockingly powerful. If Lin Moyu's realm were a bit higher, reaching Supreme, she could probably instantly kill a Supreme of the same level. The black-clad person swung out countless bloodlines, forming a blood-colored great sword that clashed with the sword of destruction. Space shook violently, and within several light years, countless cosmic beasts instantly died. Their bodies were covered in wounds as if injured by sword chi, and their souls were torn to shreds by the sword intent. The enormous power shook the river of time, causing it to distort under this attack. The black-clad person was forcefully blown away, though he didn't appear to be injured. Countless vines filled the starry sky, lashing out at the black-clad person. The Forest Supreme emerged from space, his attacks as dense as rain covering a large area of space, giving the black-clad person no chance to dodge. 2238, 2238. Chapter 2238. Still underestimating the Staff of Calamity. After Lin Moyu advanced to Half-Step Supreme, not only did her combat power increase tremendously, but her endurance also improved significantly. She was no longer like before, where she would become weak after swinging her sword once. Now she could continuously use her sword and fight for extended periods. One sword strike repelled the black-robed man, demonstrating Lin Moyu's terrifying power. The opponent was a true Supreme, much stronger than the Hawk Emperor or Demon Lord. The Forest Supreme's sudden appearance launched a fierce attack on the black-robed man. The black-robed man swung his blood sword, slashing out countless blood-colored sword lights, constantly cutting through branches and vines. But the Forest Supreme's regeneration speed was astonishingly fast, especially after becoming a revived being. Its realm was even higher than when it was alive, and its combat power was stronger than before. It engaged in a fierce battle with the black-robed man, not expecting to defeat him, but at least to stall for a significant amount of time. The black-robed man came from the River of Time and couldn't stay for too long. Lin Moyu attacked again, coordinating with the Forest Supreme to fight against the black-robed man. Sword chi crisscrossed through the starry sky, erasing laws and shattering space. The Forest Supreme and Lin Moyu joined forces, barely managing to fight the black-robed man to a standstill. However, Lin Moyu knew clearly that they were no match for the black-robed man. After all, the black-robed man was a Supreme, and a relatively strong one at that. The Forest Supreme was among the weakest of the Supremes. Even though being a revived being enhanced him, there was still a gap. The same was true for Lin Moyu, who was only at Half-Step Supreme. Her combat power at best was only comparable to the Forest Supreme. Given enough time, they would inevitably be defeated. To deal with the black-robed man, they needed to find another way. Lin Moyu's attention fell on the River of Time. The black-robed man came from the River of Time, so if they wanted to quickly resolve this, manipulating the River of Time would be the best method. With a thought, countless undead armies appeared densely in the starry sky. Skeleton generals, death dragon knights, and legion rulers all appeared together. 3 billion undead troops were deployed all at once. Then the undying flames exploded, and 25 skeleton thrones flew out from the flames, with skeleton kings rising in response.
Kill!
At Lin Moyu's command, the 3 billion undead troops launched a fierce attack on the River of Time. The starry sky was filled with white bones, and the attacks were dazzlingly brilliant. The Bone Law appeared. Countless law star rivers converged into a sea, turning into a vast ocean. Unfortunately, their attacks had no effect on the River of Time. All attacks disappeared as they fell into the river. The Bone Hell flew out and landed on the River of Time. Hellfire burned fiercely, and hell fiends pounced out, biting at the river of time. The river of time began to shake. It had always been high and mighty, but now it was actually being damaged. Lin Moyu had a sudden realization of what was happening. Ever since the bone hell fused with the undying law, it gained the power of both reality and illusion. The hell fiends could devour anything, no matter what it was. They could take a bite out of it. Even the river of time was no exception. Lin Moyu had an idea. The undying Law Star River, Time Law Star River, and Space Law Star River all appeared beneath his feet simultaneously. In the next second, Lin Moyu stepped on the Law Star Rivers and arrived at the River of Time. As he approached the River of Time, Lin Moyu sensed something was wrong. The closer he got to the River of Time, the more chaotic time became. What might have been just a second for him could have been half a day in the outside world. The power of time flowed, and Lin Moyu used his own Time Law Star River to envelop himself, resisting the power of the River of Time. Although this made time normal, he still found it difficult to approach the River of Time.
My realm is still too low.
Lin Moyu mocked himself. In the next second, the undying law poured down like a waterfall. Dense death power fell onto the River of Time. The death power also possessed the characteristic of corroding everything. Previously, when the River of Time was not visible, Lin Moyu couldn't touch it, so naturally, he had no way to deal with it. But now that the River of Time had been summoned and revealed itself, well, that was unfortunate for it. The death power fell into the River of Time, making a sizzling sound as it rampaged within. Faintly, Lin Moyu heard angry roars coming from the River of Time. Time in the river boiled like waves, no longer calm. Lin Moyu coldly snorted.
Since you've involved yourself in this matter, you must pay the price. Even if you are the River of Time, an existence that even heavenly sovereigns can't approach, so what? As long as you provoke me, I won't let you off easily either.
Lin Moyu continued to pour down death power relentlessly. He then fused his time and space powers together, forming space-time power. With a thought, Lin Moyu enveloped the River of Time with space-time power, attempting to place it in a different void. His soul world rumbled as the terrifying power of the River of Time traveled along the space-time power into his soul. A torrent of time rushed towards Lin Moyu's soul. If his soul couldn't withstand the washing of the time torrent, he would be forever lost in time, and Lin Moyu would no longer exist in reality. Lin Moyu coldly snorted, unafraid, and didn't even let the world tree intervene. Please vote. Just as the time torrent was about to arrive, his soul raised the Staff of Calamity. The seemingly unremarkable Staff of Calamity had two equally unremarkable gems embedded in it. The Soul Gem and the Elemental Gem. Lin Moyu had no idea how to use these two gems. For now, he could only use the Staff of Calamity as a baton. It worked well as a baton, hitting accurately every time. Even facing the time torrent, Lin Moyu was confident he could smash it to pieces. When his soul raised the Staff of Calamity, the time torrent suddenly braked, making a sharp turn at the last moment and fleeing rapidly. It fled much faster than when it came, almost in a panic. Lin Moyu was stunned on the spot.
What's going on?
He realized that the River of Time had consciousness and knew what he was doing. His actions had angered it, so it launched an attack on him. He was merely at the other shore realm, less than an ant in front of the River of Time. Crushing him wouldn't take any effort at all. But when it saw the Staff of Calamity, the River of Time became afraid and fled for its life.
Is the Staff of Calamity really that powerful?
Lin Moyu discovered that he had still underestimated the Staff of Calamity. This thing wasn't just tough, it should be very strong. At this moment, he suddenly thought of his small world. Back then, it was said that a strange treasure had fallen into his small world. Now thinking about it, could it have been the Staff of Calamity? Besides it, there didn't seem to be anything stronger in the small world. This was something that even the River of Time feared. It was hard to imagine how high its level was. In the next second, he took out the Staff of Calamity from his soul world, and with a mischievous smile, he charged towards the River of Time. Normally, it would be difficult for him to approach the River of Time, but he had spacetime power. Using spacetime power, he entered another layer of spacetime, using this to counter the resistance of the River of Time. The River of Time was very strong, and Lin Moyu's approach was slow, but he was still getting closer. The River of Time rumbled continuously, seemed to be trembling, afraid. Suddenly, the River of Time began to fade. It was retreating. Using time, it began to escape. In just 3 seconds, the vast and boundless River of Time disappeared from the starry sky, as if it had never appeared. As soon as it left, the black-robed man froze, then dissipated like smoke. Without the support of time, this powerful being from an unknown era also lost all power. 2239, 2239. Chapter 2239. Arrangements starting from ancient times. The River of Time was frightened away by the Staff of Calamity. The River of Time has consciousness and knows how formidable the Staff of Calamity is. This indicates that at some point in the past, the Staff of Calamity had displayed an incomparably terrifying power, a power sufficient to make the consciousness of the River of Time feel fear. Otherwise, given how powerful the River of Time is, how could it possibly be afraid? However, there's another possibility. The River of Time was summoned here by someone using origin power, so it also has many limitations. Otherwise, according to Lin Moyu's thinking, the River of Time could simply find a few heavenly sovereign-level experts from the ages and crush him countless times over. No matter how powerful the Staff of Calamity is, it wouldn't be able to hit a heavenly sovereign. Lin Moyu silently pondered, considering various possibilities. The facts proved the formidability of the Staff of Calamity, but such a powerful treasure was ultimately shattered. 5 gems were scattered to various places. Lin Moyu has only found 2 so far, with the other 3 still missing. Perhaps they can be found, or perhaps they'll never be found again. The world is vast, and the 3 gems may not necessarily be in the great world. Finding them would be no easier than becoming a Tao sovereign. Lin Moyu didn't have high hopes. For things like this, it depends on fate. If it's fated, they'll naturally be found. If not, there's no use forcing it. Putting away the Forest Supreme, Lin Moyu let out a sigh of relief.
Those guys from the Black Blood Great World probably never imagined their plan would end this way.
Lin Moshwan also relaxed at this point.
If the plan had succeeded, it truly would have been a killing blow. The human race would have suffered heavy losses.
According to the Black Blood Great World's plan, the 4 areas of Dark Void and 4 origin crystals working together would have been enough to summon a heavenly sovereign from the River of Time. However, their plan was disrupted by Lin Moyu, forcing them to act prematurely when preparations were insufficient. Even so, they still had a chance to summon a heavenly sovereign. Later, when Lin Moyu destroyed one of the origin crystals, their power was greatly weakened, resulting in only summoning a Supreme. A Supreme is very powerful. Even with Lin Moshwan and the Forest Supreme joining forces, they were helpless against him. Given enough time, they would have been defeated. One can imagine the consequences if a powerful Supreme had invaded the human race's star regions. In just half a day, a Supreme could destroy numerous star systems, causing countless casualties. If given more time, the damage to the human race would be immeasurable, possibly even shaking their foundations. If that had happened, the Black Blood Great World's plan would have been half successful. They didn't expect Lin Moyu to possess the Staff of Calamity, directly scaring away the River of Time, leading to the complete failure of the Black Blood Great World's plan. With the River of Time fleeing and the origin power receding, Lin Moyu coldly smiled.
Found them.
When the Bone Hell appeared earlier, it had interacted with the Black Blood Great World's origin power, marking it. Now that the origin power has receded, the mark still exists, essentially giving Lin Moyu an accurate location. They completely exposed themselves. Of the 4 areas of Dark Void, 3 remain. Lin Moyu only needs to search them one by one to quickly find them. A space gate opened, and the 2 traversed vast distances, heading towards another area of Dark Void. Each space gate could cross 10,000 light-years, moving extremely fast. In just a few minutes, they had passed through the Xuanwu star region and entered another area of Dark Void. The first stop was the dark void between the Xuanwu star region and the Qinglong star region. With the mark as a guide, Lin Moyu found the target location almost effortlessly. The foul-smelling polluted blood, identical to before, floated and sank in the dark void. The polluted blood was surrounded by the time-space power of the black blood great world, placing it in another layer of time-space. Ordinary attacks were completely ineffective against it. This is precisely why the black blood great world was so reckless. Even if discovered, what could the human race's Saint Lords do? They just didn't expect to encounter an anomaly like Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't disturb the polluted blood. He knew that as soon as he touched it, the black blood great world would sense it. These vermin were hiding too deeply. They needed to be dug out all at once and eliminated in one fell swoop. Lin Moyu dispatched the undead army, radiating outward from the polluted blood to search, but after half a day, they found nothing. He judged that if the black blood great world people were hiding, they wouldn't be too far away. Even the slightest trace wouldn't escape the undead army's search. Lin Moxuan remained motionless. She was meditating with closed eyes to recover her strength. Her previous consumption had been significant, and there would surely be a big battle ahead. She needed to maintain her peak condition. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. After searching around the polluted blood for 10 days, he finally gave up.
They're not here. Let's go to the next location.
The black blood great world had been hiding for so many years and had taken root. They couldn't escape in such a short time, so there was no need to rush. Space gates opened one after another, and the two arrived at the dark void between the Qinglong star region and the Zhuke star region. Quickly finding the location of the polluted blood, Lin Moyu repeated the process, continuing to search. After another 10 days, still no results.
Next stop.
The two headed to the final location, the dark void between the Zhuke star region and the Baihu star region. The polluted blood remained unchanged, showing no difference. The polluted blood in the 4 areas of dark void looked identical, with no discernible differences, maintaining some kind of balance. The polluted blood was just the surface. The real core was the origin crystal inside. Lin Moyu searched for another 10 days, still with no results. His eyes narrowed.
Could I have guessed wrong? Is the black blood great world not hiding near the polluted blood? Or did I miss something?
Lin Moyu pondered. He felt his judgment shouldn't be wrong. The hiding place of the black blood great world certainly wouldn't be too far from the polluted blood. Lin Moxuan finished her meditation, restored to her peak condition. Although she had been meditating along the way, she had also been thinking. She usually didn't like to use her brain much, preferring to let her sword do the talking in most situations. But this doesn't mean she can't think. There are no fools among the Saint Lords in the world. It's just a matter of whether they're willing to think or not. Lin Moxuan said,
Little you, how do you think the black blood great world's arrangements maintain balance?
Lin Moyu's eyes suddenly lit up, a flash of inspiration. Lin Moxuan's words gave him an idea. He waved out a star map, which appeared in 3 dimensions, displaying the entire domain space. The 4 areas of dark void occupied a significant portion of the star regions, appearing to be evenly distributed between the 4 star regions. If the 4 star regions were divided into 8 parts, the dark voids would be perfectly balanced with the 4 star regions. This situation hadn't seemed significant before, but now as Lin Moyu looked at it again, he had a different feeling. The dark voids seemed more like the result of deliberate arrangement. If such an arrangement had persisted from ancient times until now, that would be terrifying. What kind of arrangement could last from ancient times until now, taking so long? The purpose behind it must be incredibly shocking. Lin Moyu murmured,
It's possible that summoning the River of Time was just one step. The true core purpose may not lie here.
Lin Moxuan also said,
The black blood great world is the main culprit behind the great world's decline. Their strength cannot be underestimated. Whatever arrangements they make, we shouldn't be surprised.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly, his finger lightly tapping to mark all the locations of the polluted blood, including the one that had been destroyed. Lines were drawn connecting the 4 polluted blood locations as coordinates, avoiding the areas occupied by the human race, forming numerous intersection points. Countless intersection points formed a straight line. The black blood great world was very likely hiding somewhere along this line. Lin Moyu's expression suddenly changed. This line passed through the human race's divine city and the human emperor's body. This situation was very abnormal. It indicated that the black blood great world knew the exact locations of the divine city and the human emperor's body. From this, it could also be deduced that the black blood great world's arrangements were certainly not limited to the River of Time. They must have other plans in store.
Let's go.
The space gate opened once again. 2240. Chapter 2240. Want me to bow down? No way. The space gate opened repeatedly, and the two of them traversed tens of thousands of light years, leaving the human star region. Following the straight line drawn earlier, Lin Moyu began his search. He continuously opened space gates, limiting the distance of each gate to 10 light years, while simultaneously releasing a massive number of skeleton generals to conduct a carpet search within this 10 light-year range. Thanks to his previous training in the Xuanqing secret realm, Lin Moyu had an extremely precise grasp of spatial scales with minimal error. Lin Moyu felt a vague sense of unease.
What could the Black Blood Great World be planning? They've been setting this up for so many years. Besides the River of Time, what else are they trying to do?
Lin Moyu's concerns were not without reason. His extremely sensitive soul was warning him that things were far from over. Lin Moxuan said,
Think positively. At least we discovered their setup in advance. Just like the River of Time, their power hasn't yet reached its peak.
If their power had reached its peak, those setups would have been activated long ago. Lin Moyu said,
We'll take it as it comes.
For now, they could only respond to each move as it came. Before coming here, he had returned to the human race and informed the human emperor of his suspicions and judgments. The human emperor immediately activated the formations to protect the entire human star region. At the same time, the Saint Lords and Old Star all went on alert, ready to face a great battle at any moment. The incident with the River of Time had already taken them by surprise. The human emperor analyzed a massive amount of data and found that Lin Moyu's words made sense. The existence of the dark void was not simple. All the star regions of various races had been emptied, leaving the star systems very sparse. After more than 10 days of searching, they finally made a discovery 10,000 light-years away from the human star region. In the dim starry sky, there was an area densely packed with debris and remnants. A great battle had once taken place here, shattering the stars into countless fragments that drifted in this area. This area was inconspicuous. In the vast starry sky, such areas were common, and normally no one would come here. Lin Moyu found traces of the black blood great world here, including the presence of polluted blood, identical to the polluted blood in the dark void. Lin Moyu stood before the polluted blood, eyes reflecting deep thought.
The fifth batch of polluted blood. When they summoned the River of Time earlier, it didn't activate, but I have a feeling it's connected to the other batches of polluted blood.
He summoned the star map again, connecting the fifth batch of polluted blood to form a new star map. It seemed nothing was unusual. At this moment, Lin Moxuan lightly tapped a spot on the star map.
What if there's another one here?
Lin Moxuan pointed to another end, also on the straight line that ran through the human star region, located at the other end of the line. If there was another batch of polluted blood here, it would mean that 6 points of polluted blood formed a cage, completely surrounding the human star region. Lin Moyu drew the lines but still felt something was off.
Not just this, there must be more.
With a thought, the lines on the star map extended further, eventually reaching different areas. Lin Moyu was suddenly shocked.
The 4 battlegrounds.
Lin Moxuan softly said,
It should be. It indeed connects to the 4 battlegrounds.
Lin Moyu said,
Let's go back and inform the human emperor.
The space gate opened, and the two returned at the fastest speed. The 4 battlegrounds, Zhuke, Xuanwu, Qinglong, and Baihu, The history of the four battlegrounds also dates back to ancient times, extremely distant. In the four battlegrounds, there are many imprints left from ancient battles. Lin Moyu had once discovered mysterious manners, ancient battlefields, and strange beings that had survived from ancient times. Lin Moyu didn't understand before, only knowing that resources could be obtained and training could be conducted in the four battlegrounds. Now, thinking back, the resources of the great world are difficult to regenerate. The only place where new resources might appear is the four battlegrounds. Clearly, for the great world, the four battlegrounds are also a very special existence. Why they are special, Lin Moyu didn't know. In Lin Moyu's plan, the four battlegrounds were also included. After completely severing karma, the human race would send a massive number of gods to the four battlegrounds to bring back a large number of resources, further enhancing the human race's luck. The combined star regions of the four battlegrounds are larger than the star regions occupied by the human race. If the Black Blood Great World truly has arrangements within, searching will be extremely difficult. Returning to the human star region, Lin Moyu immediately contacted the human emperor and informed him of his findings. The human emperor began analyzing immediately, searching for answers through a massive amount of data. This analysis took the human emperor a long time, a full day before he got an answer. The answer was not far from Lin Moyu's guess. The four battlegrounds, the four dark voids, and the polluted blood connecting both ends of the human star region formed a giant net, completely enveloping the human star region. Moreover, the human emperor obtained some information from extremely ancient records. In ancient times, the Black Blood Great World had once triggered a black blood frenzy. A sea of blood submerged vast star regions, devouring countless beings, and many human supreme beings died in the sea of blood. The formation of the four dark voids was also related to that black blood frenzy. According to records, the black blood frenzy required the use of world origin power. Combining this with the current situation, the human emperor concluded that the probability of the Black Blood Great World triggering a black blood frenzy exceeded 50%. Now the problem had become very troublesome. Lin Moyu no longer had Saint Lord corpses and couldn't continue to destroy the remaining polluted blood. Currently, the Great World has no supreme beings, almost rendering them helpless against the Black Blood Great World. Even if they found the remnants of the Black Blood Great World, it wouldn't necessarily stop the black blood frenzy from happening. Now, all the human emperor could do was reinforce the formations, in case a black blood frenzy did occur, to minimize damage. Lin Moyu pondered for a moment and said in a deep voice,
I'll go find Tianlong.
the human race's understanding of the black blood frenzy was limited. Perhaps Tianlong would know more. Moreover, he had the second dragon pearl. Even if Tianlong didn't give him face, he would have to give face to the dragon pearl. Lin Moshwan softly said,
I won't go.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly. It was good that Lin Moshwan wouldn't go. She could focus on her cultivation. In case something happened, she could help. At least she was currently the strongest combat power of the human race, stronger than Old Star and the human emperor. The space gate opened, and Lin Moyu headed to the boundary at the fastest speed. Each time he crossed 10,000 light-years. Lin Moyu's current speed was second only to the Saint Lords of the Starry Sky Fish Clan. Crossing hundreds of thousands of light-years, Lin Moyu rushed into the boundary and quickly entered Tianlong's domain. Before he got close to Tianlong, he heard Tianlong's roar from afar, filled with anger. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned.
Is someone fighting with Tianlong?
But there was no sign of battle in the space. Tianlong was not fighting but arguing.
Come with us. The punishment you've received here is enough. The elders have granted you permission to return. As long as you go back and admit your mistake, the past will be forgiven, and the elders will find a way to restore your dragon pearl.
A familiar voice came, and Lin Moyu saw the old familiar dragon, Shengguang. Shengguang was currently transforming from a holy dragon to a divine dragon. His appearance had changed somewhat from before, but he still needed some time to complete the transformation. Tianlong glared angrily at Shengguang.
Go back and tell those old guys that even if I die, I won't go back. Want me to bow down? No way. Let them give up on that idea.
Xinguang said softly.
This world is about to be destroyed, with only 1,000 years left. Why persist?
Tianlong snorted coldly.
It's just death. And no one knows if this world will be destroyed. Those old guys just saw fragments of fate, which can't be trusted.
2241 2241. Chapter 2241. Both sides suffer. Tianlong and Xinguang exchanged a few more words. From their conversation, Lin Moyu could deduce that Xinguang's status within the dragon clan was not as high as Tianlong's. Tianlong was a divine dragon, while Xinguang was merely a holy dragon. The hierarchy within the dragon clan was very strict, with elemental dragons, holy dragons, and divine dragons each having distinctly different statuses. Although Xinguang was conveying the words of some elders within the dragon clan, his tone was noticeably respectful. Tianlong seemed to have made a mistake and was punished by being sent here, losing 5 dragon pearls in the process. However, Tianlong clearly refused to admit his mistake. He didn't believe he was wrong, so how could he admit it? Tianlong's situation was very similar to Antares's, but Antares's situation was even worse. At least Tianlong was still in the boundary region and could move freely within it. Antares, on the other hand, was trapped in a small world, unable to move. Before meeting Lin Moyu, Antares didn't even have anyone to talk to. In comparison, Tianlong's situation was slightly better. Unable to persuade Tianlong, Xinguang could only leave in frustration. After Xinguang left, Tianlong looked towards Lin Moyu's location.
Come out.
Lin Moyu removed the concealment talisman. The concealment talisman could fool Xinguang but not Tianlong. Currently, Xinguang was still at the Saint Lord level, while Tianlong, having retrieved a dragon pearl, had returned to the half-step supreme level. Tianlong looked at Lin Moyu.
You heard everything?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, I heard it all.
Tianlong asked.
What do you think?
Lin Moyu waved his hand.
Although I don't know the details, my sister once said something that suits you well.
Tianlong's eyes swept over, as if asking.
What did she say?
Lin Moyu said.
Do what you believe is right. Do what you believe is right.
Tianlong chewed on this phrase and suddenly let out a fierce dragon roar.
Well said, do what you believe is right. Your sister is quite something.
After a burst of wild laughter, Tianlong looked at Lin Moyu.
Tell me, what brings you here this time?
Lin Moyu waved his hand, tossing the dragon pearl to Tianlong.
I found the second dragon pearl for you. I also know where the third one is. I'll retrieve it when I get the chance.
Seeing the dragon pearl, Tianlong's eyes filled with joy, followed by confusion.
If you know where the third one is, why wait for the opportunity?
Lin Moyu said.
The location of the third one is very dangerous. I'm not entirely confident. I might die. Moreover, the human race is currently facing some troublesome issues that need to be resolved first.
Tianlong carefully examined the dragon pearl and casually said,
What kind of trouble could the human race have?
After speaking, he breathed out a dragon breath, which turned into flames enveloping the dragon pearl. Tianlong muttered to himself,
This dragon pearl has been used by someone, contaminated with impurities, and needs to be purified. Which filthy creature dared to contaminate my dragon pearl? If I find out, I'll kill them with a single breath.
Lin Moyu said.
You won't have the chance. The Eagle Emperor is already dead.
Tianlong responded with an,
Oh, lucky for him. If I were around, I'd refine his soul for thousands of years. Tell me, what trouble is the human race facing? Let's see if I can help.
Lin Moyu had been waiting for this question and immediately asked,
Do you know about the Black Blood Calamity?
While purifying the dragon pearl, Tianlong muttered,
Black Blood Calamity. Sounds familiar. Let me think.
The dragon clan had arrived in the Great World in ancient times. Throughout the ancient Great War, the dragon clan had always been observers. Perhaps the dragons of that time were not the same as Tianlong now. but the Dragon Clan's information had been passed down. Lin Moyu thought Tianlong might know. After thinking for a moment, Tianlong finally found the answer in his distant memory.
I remember now. The Black Blood Calamity is an attack triggered by the origin power of the Black Blood Great World.
Lin Moyu immediately asked,
Is the Black Blood Calamity very powerful?
Tianlong chuckled.
What do you think? Anything involving origin power can't be weak.
Indeed, anything involving the word
Origin
is very powerful. Even in the small world, there is origin power. When Lin Moyu sought to become the master of the small world and gain its recognition, he put in a lot of effort. The origin power of the great world is even more powerful. Lin Moyu continued to ask,
Is there a way to stop the Black Blood Calamity?
Tianlong continued,
Nothing in the world is unstoppable, but first, you need to understand it to stop it fundamentally.
Lin Moyu perked up his ears, listening carefully. Tianlong was about to start teaching.
First of all, the origin of the Black Blood Great World is blood. Their laws, power, and attacks all come from blood. They can consume and accumulate their own blood energy, transforming it into immense combat power. They can also absorb external blood energy and refine it into various treasures. The previous Eye of Filth was made by collecting thousands of filthy blood. The Black Blood Calamity is the same. It's an expression of the origin power of the Black Blood Great World. To stop it, you must destroy the origin. Back in the day, when the Black Blood Great World launched the Black Blood Calamity, your human race had no particularly good countermeasures. Even with the combined efforts of several heavenly sovereigns, it was difficult to stop. In the end, you had to use the origin power of the Great World to block it. But that time, the origin of the Great World was severely damaged. Although you won in the end, it was actually a situation where both sides suffered.
Lin Moyu suddenly understood. He finally learned about the ancient Great War from Tianlong. It turned out that because of the Black Blood Calamity, the two worlds fought with their origin powers, resulting in mutual destruction. A part of the mystery was unveiled, and Lin Moyu saw the cause and effect. Lin Moyu whispered,
The Great World was severely damaged and difficult to recover. What about the Black Blood Great World? I went to the Boundary Sea and didn't see the Black Blood Great World.
Tianlong laughed heartily.
Not seeing it is normal. Seeing it would be abnormal.
Tianlong was in a good mood. The Dragon Pearl was being purified and would soon be absorbed, allowing him to regain some of his strength. He didn't hide anything from Lin Moyu. Even things he shouldn't say, he didn't care. Anyway, he had already fallen out with the Dragon Clan, and Tianlong had entered a state of indifference. After laughing for a while, Tianlong continued,
In the final stages of the ancient Great War, your human race should have been the victorious side. The heavenly sovereigns thought they could plunder the origin of the Black Blood Great World, just like they had plundered other worlds' origins before. If they had succeeded, the origin of the Great World would have reached a new level. Perhaps a Dao sovereign would have been born in the Great World. The strongest in the Black Blood Great World sacrificed themselves, using the origin of the Black Blood Great World to launch the Black Blood Calamity. The collision of the two worlds' origins severely damaged the origin of the Great World, and the Black Blood Great World directly collapsed.
The Black Blood Great World actually collapsed. This result surprised Lin Moyu. No wonder he didn't see the Black Blood Great World in the Boundary Sea. It had already collapsed. Tianlong paused for a moment and continued,
The people of the Black Blood Great World didn't all die. They, along with the shattered Black Blood Great World, merged into the Great World. The origin of the Black Blood Great World was shattered but not exhausted.
Lin Moyu understood. The cultivators of the Black Blood Great World didn't all die, and the origin of the Black Blood Great World wasn't completely exhausted. So over the years, the remnants of the Black Blood Great World had been searching and laying out plans, trying to trigger the Black Blood Calamity again. The River of Time earlier was just an appetizer. The Black Blood Calamity was the real killer move. Compared to the demons, the Black Blood Great World was much harder to deal with. However, Lin Moyu thought of a possibility.
Since the origin of the Black Blood Great World still exists, what if we let the Great World absorb it?
Tianlong laughed heartily.
You're not trying to save the Great World. You're trying to kill it.
Amidst the laughter, the dragon pearl finished purifying and was swallowed by Tianlong in one gulp. 2242 Chapter 2242. At most 1/3 will die. Tianlong laughed somewhat maniacally. After swallowing the dragon pearl, his aura began to rise rapidly. In an instant, he broke through from half-step supreme to full supreme. The return of the dragon pearl allowed his power to be restored. A huge rule world appeared, fundamentally different from a Saint Lord's rule world. A Saint Lord's rule world is constructed from their own rule power. A Supreme's rule world requires the integration of origin power. Lin Moyu is from the Great World, so if he becomes a Supreme, his origin power would come from the Great World. Tianlong's origin power comes from the dragon race. Of course, this isn't necessarily the case. If there are other ways to obtain origin power, one can also become a Supreme. Dragon roars echoed from within the rule world, becoming stronger and more real. Tianlong laughed excitedly.
How many years has it been? This old dragon has finally returned to the Supreme Realm.
Lin Moyu also congratulated him.
Congratulations on returning to Supreme.
Tianlong was in an extremely good mood, laughing loudly.
The origin of the Black Blood Great World is very special and cannot be absorbed. Forcibly absorbing it would only lead to contamination and eventually assimilation. You think those guys stirred up the Black Blood calamity to destroy the human race? You're mistaken. What they really want is to contaminate the Great World's origin. As long as they contaminate the Great World's origin, the Black Blood Great World can assimilate the Great World, ultimately replacing it and becoming a new Black Blood Great World. I know you have questions, but don't ask. The origin of the Black Blood Great World is terrifying. I can't speak of it, I can't.
Tianlong seemed somewhat deranged in his laughter, perhaps due to excessive excitement. He ultimately didn't truly lose his sanity. There were some things that absolutely could not be said, and he wouldn't mention them. Lin Moyu now fully understood the essence of the matter, but unfortunately, he couldn't think of a solution on his own. He could only continue to seek help from Tianlong.
Then what about methods to stop it?
Tianlong had said earlier that nothing in the world is unstoppable. Now that he understood the essence, Lin Moyu just needed a method. Tianlong said,
It's simple, just destroy the origin.
Lin Moyu said,
The Black Blood Great World has placed the world origin in different spacetimes. I've already destroyed one, but for the remaining few, I'm powerless.
Tianlong laughed.
You may not have a way, but I do. I said before, if you bring back the Dragon Pearl, I can make a move for you once. For Anteri's sake, I'll increase my promise a bit more.
With several pops, 3 dragon scales below Tianlong's neck flew out, transforming into 3 palm-sized divine dragons that landed in Lin Moyu's hand. Tianlong said,
Take these. They contain my origin power. Each divine dragon can consume 1 origin crystal. The origin of the Black Blood Great World is dangerous. You can't touch it or absorb it.
Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony and accepted them straightforwardly.
Thank you, Tianlong. Besides this, are there any other methods?
Tianlong said,
Of course there are. Don't you have the 4 battlegrounds? In each battleground, there's an origin divine beast. They were nurtured by your great world's origin power into cosmic giant beasts. They have ways to deal with the polluted blood.
Lin Moyu immediately thought of the huge vermilion bird in the core of the vermilion bird battleground, and the egg in its belly. It said that the vermilion bird possesses the ability of nirvana. The vermilion bird in the battleground has existed for countless years, always maintaining the same state, showing no signs of undergoing nirvana. Hearing Tianlong's words, Lin Moyu finally understood the origin of the vermilion bird.
So they're origin divine beasts nurtured by the great world. They're not dead yet?
Tianlong said,
As long as the Great World doesn't perish, they won't die. However, when the Great World was severely injured, they were also heavily wounded and have been in slumber ever since. You can try to awaken the vermilion bird. It's the most special among the four origin divine beasts, possessing the ability of nirvana. Perhaps it can be revived. But even if it can't be revived, it doesn't matter. The origin of the black blood great world is no longer sufficient. You've destroyed one portion yourself, and I'll help you deal with 3 more. Even if they can launch the black blood calamity, I'm afraid it won't do much to the human race. At most, it might submerge 1/3 of the human race's star regions, or even less.
Tianlong spoke as if it were a matter of course, but Lin Moyu felt his scalp tingle as he listened. 1/3 of the human race's star regions. How many people would that be? 10 trillion? Or 100 trillion? This level of loss is something the human race cannot bear. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't let such a thing happen. He said to Tianlong,
I'll go back and deal with the black blood great world first. Once I've taken care of them, I'll go retrieve the 3rd dragon pearl for you.
Tianlong smiled and said,
Go on then. I believe you can handle it.
Lin Moyu nodded, spread his wings of the dead, opened a space gate, and turned to leave. After Lin Moyu left, Tianlong muttered to himself,
Perhaps the great world can still be saved. But even if it perishes, so what? Even if the great world is destroyed, this old dragon won't die.
His form became illusory, coiled around the great tree, emitting light. The sound of water could be heard around him. The projection of the boundary sea appeared in space. Tianlong's consciousness left the great world and appeared above the boundary sea. The great world came into his view, and at the same time he saw the battle realm in the distance. The battle realm was drifting towards the great world. In another 1,200 years, the two would collide. Tianlong muttered to himself,
That world looks a bit small. If it plunders the origin of the great world, it could grow quite a bit larger. At worst, this old dragon can move house and stay in that world. It's just that finding dragon pearls might be difficult. I hope that little fellow doesn't disappoint this dragon.
Tianlong had confidence in himself. Even if the great world were destroyed, he could still live well. So there was no way Xinguang could persuade him. Lin Moyu returned at the fastest speed. Along the way, he began to consider which origin crystals to destroy. Should it be the 2 that run through the human race's star regions, or the 3 in the dark void? If the black blood calamity is viewed as a formation, then each origin crystal is a node of the formation. If the appropriate nodes are destroyed, perhaps the black blood calamity could be prevented. But Lin Moyu didn't understand the formations of the black blood great world. He didn't know if there were connections between the origin crystals, or if nodes were even necessary. He thought of what Tianlong had said, the power of the black blood calamity would be greatly reduced but not eliminated. In other words, no matter which nodes he destroyed, the black blood calamity would still occur in the end. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and knew what he should do. He couldn't gamble on probabilities, so he would deal with the 3 origin crystals closest to the human race. Re-entering the dark void between the vermilion bird and white tiger regions, he quickly found the location of the polluted blood. The origin crystal was enveloped by the polluted blood, completely invisible. Previously, using other shore realm corpses to clear the way, he had blown up a large amount of polluted blood to see the origin crystal. Lin Moyu took out 1 divine dragon and placed it on the polluted blood. The 2 were in different spacetimes and didn't collide. Then the divine dragon suddenly grew larger, instantly becoming over 10,000 meters long, transforming into a majestic divine dragon. With a resounding dragon roar, the divine dragon breathed dragon breath towards the polluted blood. The dragon breath contained a trace of Tianlong's origin power, evolving into infinite flames that ignored space-time limitations and directly burned the polluted blood. Lin Moyu immediately sealed off his soul. When the polluted blood burned, the stench instantly increased 100-fold, enough to kill a divine lord. He couldn't withstand it at all. The dragon breath quickly burned away the polluted blood, revealing the origin crystal. The divine dragon roared and charged forward, swallowing the origin crystal in one bite. 2243 2243. Chapter 2243. Stealing the bird's egg. Lin Moyu could sense that the divine dragon contained Tianlong's origin power. Although the origin power wasn't strong, its purity was very high, containing a vast and majestic aura. The origin crystal of the Black Blood Great World also contained origin power, but it was more sinister and terrifying, exuding an aura of decay. The two types of origin power were completely different and collided with each other. The divine dragon's body rapidly expanded, starting to inflate dramatically. Lin Moyu instinctively retreated over 10,000 miles, watching from afar. The divine dragon didn't explode. After its body expanded to a certain degree, it suddenly shrank like a deflating balloon. As it shrank, its body began to dissolve, finally disappearing completely. The origin crystal of the Black Blood Great World was also gone, having perished together with the divine dragon.
So this is the result of origin powers clashing.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh. Back then, the Great World had also fought like this, using origin power to resist, and ended up severely injured. The Black Blood Great World was even more shattered, breaking apart on the spot. It seemed like the Great World had won, but the result was actually mutual destruction. After dealing with one origin crystal, Lin Moyu headed to the next area of Dark Void to deal with the other two origin crystals. Tianlong's power was very strong. Lin Moyu felt that the origin power within it was not just at the ordinary supreme level. He thought Tianlong might possibly be a heavenly sovereign, or at least at the peak of supreme realm. When all the dragon pearls were retrieved, it was hard to say how powerful Tianlong would become. Lin Moyu worked tirelessly, resolving the origin crystals of the Black Blood Great World at the fastest speed. In this way, the arrangements the Black Blood Great World had made over many years were directly dismantled by more than half. Lin Moyu didn't know where the remnants of the Black Blood Great World were hiding, but he could imagine they must be furious now. All their hard work and arrangements over so many years were so easily destroyed. How could they not be angry?
You only have yourselves to blame for emerging earlier. If you hadn't shown yourselves, we might not have thought of you.
Lin Moyu muttered to himself as he returned to the human race's star region and contacted the Human Emperor Network, briefly explaining what he had done. The Black Blood calamity hadn't been completely resolved yet, so he still needed to continue. The Human Emperor's voice came through.
A large number of cultivators have already headed to the 4 battlegrounds. They will search for the Black Blood Great World's location first. Be careful yourself, the vermilion bird is not easy to approach.
Lin Moyu said.
I'll be careful.
In the past, some people had tried to approach the vermilion bird, hoping to obtain the egg under its belly, but they were all burned to ashes by the vermilion bird's fire. The vermilion bird's fire contained the origin of the Great World. Not just ordinary cultivators, even Saint Lords couldn't withstand it. Lin Moyu also didn't know if he would succeed on this trip, but he had to at least try. With the space gate, travel became extremely convenient, much faster than transmission arrays. In just half a day, Lin Moyu had already arrived at the core area of the Vermilion Bird battleground. Thinking of how he had almost gotten lost here before, Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile self-mockingly. Looking back now, he was so weak then, but his experiences were incredibly rich. At that time, Zhu Qiwu had taken good care of him, but now he was so busy he didn't even have a chance to have tea with him. Since he started cultivating, even his closed-door cultivation time was carefully calculated. He truly hadn't stopped for a moment.
Born to toil.
With self-mockery, he arrived at the area where the vermilion bird was located and felt the omnipresent heat. The vermilion bird's flames continuously emitted heat, hotter than even stars. It not only scorched the flesh but also burned the soul. There were many cosmic beasts here, mostly at the Divine Lord realm. They absorbed the heat but didn't dare to get too close. Lin Moyu's knowledge was now different from before, far surpassing the former Zhu Qiwu. The vermilion bird contained origin power, which was released along with the flames. This power was beneficial to the cosmic beasts. Lin Moyu's arrival didn't attract anyone's attention. The cosmic beasts here had grown lazy, almost abandoning their territorial instincts. If you didn't provoke them, they wouldn't provoke you. Lin Moyu turned into a stream of light and flew towards the vermilion bird. As the distance decreased, the heat began to rise sharply. Soon the heat exceeded the Divine Lord realm, reaching a level that could harm those in the other shore realm. The undying golden body activated, covering his body surface with a layer of undying flames, with golden light flickering like stars within. The undying golden body blocked the heat, and at the same time, flames suddenly ignited outside his soul world, starting to roast his soul. Anyone approaching the vermilion bird would have their soul subjected to the burning of flames. Fortunately, Lin Moyu's soul world was strong enough to temporarily withstand the vermilion bird's flames without issue. When the distance was reduced to 10,000 miles, the intensity of the flame burning increased again, reaching the Saint Lord level. Before setting out, the human emperor had mentioned that the limit a Saint Lord could reach was 10,000 miles. Going any further would be dangerous. Lin Moyu had his rule world to maintain his form, coupled with a Saint Lord level soul. Standing here, he could barely withstand it. As for his flesh body with the undying golden body, the pressure was relatively much less. If he continued to approach, there would indeed be danger. From 10,000 miles away, Lin Moyu could clearly sense that the vermilion bird was in deep slumber. It had no consciousness and couldn't communicate. He tried calling out with his soul, but even the call was burned by the flames, unable to transmit over.
I must get closer.
Lin Moyu pondered ways in his mind. To get closer, he would need to be at least at the half-step supreme level or possess origin power.
Half-step supreme, origin power.
Lin Moyu had a sudden idea.
I can try the origin spell.
After reaching the other shore realm, Lin Moyu didn't know where his limit was. Origin spell. Gather power. With a thought, an aura of origin power rose from his body. His aura immediately awakened many cosmic beasts. One by one, they looked towards Lin Moyu, the origin power highly attractive to them. But when they saw Lin Moyu's position clearly, they all backed down. That was an area they couldn't approach. Getting close meant death. The fact that Lin Moyu could stand there meant his strength was terrifying. Cosmic beasts might not have brains, but their instincts told them not to seek death. Lin Moyu's realm began to rise rapidly, getting stronger and stronger. From the early stage of the other shore realm, he quickly rose to the middle stage, then to the late stage. At the late stage of the other shore realm, which is the Saint Lord level, one begins to construct their own rule world. Lin Moyu didn't construct his own rule world, but his power had truly reached this level. It was a very strange feeling. He clearly didn't have a rule world, yet possessed the power of a Saint Lord. One could only say that there are countless paths in the world's Tao. Perhaps reaching Saint Lord doesn't necessarily require a rule world. Lin Moyu had no time to ponder this question for now. He was still continuously drawing power, raising his realm further. Soon, he touched upon the power of an even higher level, the Supreme Realm. However, it was just initial contact, seeing some of the mysteries of the Supreme Realm. This level, not quite supreme but higher than Saint Lord, is called Half-Step Supreme. The moment he reached Half-Step Supreme, Lin Moyu knew he had reached his limit state and couldn't improve further. He didn't waste even 0.01 seconds, directly crossing over 10,000 miles to charge towards the vermilion bird. Raging flames instantly ignited on his body, the flames scorching his flesh and soul. Lin Moyu ignored it all, rushing to the vermilion bird's side in one breath. Just as he was about to reach out and touch the vermilion bird, his soul sent a warning that he couldn't do this. It would be dangerous. Lin Moyu immediately withdrew his hand and turned to look at the vermilion bird egg under its belly. 2244 2244 Chapter 2244 Vermilion Bird's Nirvana, Origin Divine Beast. The warning of danger still echoed in his soul. Touching the vermilion bird egg was equally dangerous, but it was slightly better than directly touching the vermilion bird. The flames of the vermilion bird grew even more intense, giving Lin Moyu the illusion that he could be burned to ashes at any moment. Lin Moyu steeled his heart, gathering the laws of time and space together. The power of time and space flowed, temporarily allowing him to enter a different time and space. In a different time and space, he should theoretically be immune to all harm, as the two were in different dimensions and shouldn't be able to interact. However, reality proved otherwise. The vermilion bird's flames contained a trace of origin power, which could traverse time and space, continuing to burn his flesh and soul.
The vermilion bird's origin power can penetrate time and space, so it can naturally attack the origin crystal of the black blood great world. Tianlong was right. The vermilion bird indeed has the ability to deal with the origin crystal. Now, I just need to awaken it.
Lin Moyu was both surprised and delighted. With determination, he endured the flames and touched the vermilion bird egg. The intense damage was shared by the 3 billion undead army. The Legion rulers went mad with healing, and the undead army was busy with spells. Finally, Lin Moyu touched the vermilion bird egg. At that moment, a vast life force transmitted from the egg. The flames on the vermilion bird's body erupted, surging into terrifying flames far surpassing a stellar explosion. The terrifying power swept through the starry sky, and Lin Moyu was uncontrollably blown away. Time and space were pierced by the flames. Lin Moyu was engulfed in fire, his undying golden body burning, intertwining with the vermilion bird's flames, making it impossible to distinguish between them. Lin Moyu felt the terrifying power of rules. The rule power within the flames shattered his undying golden body, causing intense pain throughout his body, which was rapidly disintegrating. His soul was also affected, with large holes burned into his soul world, allowing the flames to invade and attack his soul directly. The world tree wanted to intervene, but Lin Moyu stopped it. His soul was covered by a layer of yellow light, provided by the soul gem within the Staff of Calamity. It was the last line of defense for his soul. The yellow light blocked the vermilion bird's flames, making his soul feel hot but not harmed. However, the yellow light was also weakening and wouldn't last long. Lin Moyu remained incredibly calm, not panicking at all. He took a step back, distancing himself by over 30 billion kilometers. Then, with 2 more steps, he was 100 billion kilometers away from the vermilion bird. His aura then exploded, pushing the gather power spell to its limit, attempting to break through to the supreme realm. The gather power spell exceeded its limit, causing his body to explode on the spot, along with his soul. As his body and soul shattered, the vermilion bird's flames lost their target and extinguished. Half a second later, purple light flashed, and Lin Moyu was reborn. His flesh and soul were recreated out of thin air, everything returning to normal.
The river of time.
Just after his rebirth, Lin Moyu was momentarily stunned. During his rebirth, his power of time and space hadn't disappeared. In that instant, he seemed to see the shadow of the river of time, as if his rebirth was connected to it. However, the moment was too brief for Lin Moyu to determine if it was an illusion. It had been a long time since he activated his rebirth talent, and he hadn't experienced death in a long time. Lin Moyu felt a bit nostalgic. He remembered the times in the small world when Antares killed him repeatedly, all for the sake of refining his spells. His gaze fell on the vermilion bird 100 billion kilometers away. The vermilion bird was now engulfed in flames, releasing intense heat. The heat in the space was hundreds or thousands of times stronger than before, waking countless cosmic beasts, which fled in panic, unable to stay in their original positions. Within the vermilion bird's scorching flames, Lin Moyu sensed a touch of vitality. The previously dormant flames began to show signs of life. Activating his soul eye, Lin Moyu saw more clearly. The vermilion bird's body was melting, flowing into the vermilion bird egg like flames. Thump, thump, heartbeats echoed from the vermilion bird egg, growing stronger and more powerful. The flames became more intense and dangerous. Through his soul eye, Lin Moyu saw force entwined within the vermilion bird egg, also spreading through the flames. This force wasn't abundant but was extremely powerful. It was this force that allowed the flames to penetrate time and space and nearly burn him to death.
World origin.
Lin Moyu murmured to himself. Tianlong had mentioned that the vermilion bird was an origin divine beast nurtured by the great world, inherently containing the world's origin. This divine beast was not a cosmic giant beast but far stronger. Could be considered the great world's favored child, naturally powerful. The heartbeat grew stronger, and minutes later, a crack appeared on the eggshell, quickly spreading across the entire egg. With a crisp sound, the egg shattered, and a small bird flew out, letting out a loud cry. The cry pierced the soul like a sharp sword, shaking Lin Moyu's soul world. If it affected him this much, it was even worse for the cosmic beasts. Nearby cosmic beasts fled in terror, running as far as they could. While the origin aura was beneficial, it wasn't worth risking their lives for. Survival was the first instinct of all living beings, including cosmic beasts. Only Lin Moyu stayed, quietly watching the vermilion bird's nirvana. The newly hatched vermilion bird quickly grew, reaching over 1,000,000 kilometers in size, resembling a massive star in the starry sky, majestic and imposing. The flames receded, and the heat in the starry sky rapidly diminished until it disappeared. The reborn vermilion bird retracted all its power, its sharp gaze falling on Lin Moyu. With a flap of its wings, its massive body crossed 100 billion kilometers in an instant, appearing before Lin Moyu. A majestic and terrifying voice echoed.
Why did you disturb me?
His gaze was dangerous. If Lin Moyu weren't human, he would have been burned to death by now. Lin Moyu could sense the vermilion bird's realm. A true supreme, stronger than most supremes, capable of easily killing him. Lin Moyu looked at the vermilion bird without fear.
The great world is in danger and needs you.
The vermilion bird was nurtured by the great world, its primary task being to protect it. During the ancient Great War, the 4 origin divine beasts fought for the great world until the end. They were the great world's favored children, perhaps its last line of defense. The heavenly sovereigns had their own plans. If things got too dire, they might leave the great world and not necessarily fight to the end. Hearing that the great world was in danger, the vermilion bird's gaze became extremely dangerous.
Explain clearly.
Lin Moyu recounted the Black Blood Great World's plan to trigger the Black Blood calamity. Upon hearing about the Black Blood Great World, the vermilion bird's eyes turned fiercely murderous.
Take me there.
The vermilion bird's voice was filled with danger, sending chills down one's spine. Lin Moyu spread his wings of the dead, the laws of space vibrating as he opened a space gate. The space gate wasn't large enough for the vermilion bird to pass through. With a cold snort, the vermilion bird's body rapidly shrank from 1,000,000 kilometers to just 10 meters. With a flap of its wings and a cry, the vermilion bird rushed into the space gate. 2245, 2245. Chapter 2245. The surprising appearance of the Black Blood Frenzy. The space gate opened repeatedly, spanning the starry sky, as Lin Moyu led the vermilion bird to a location where polluted blood was present. Now, all the polluted blood in the 4 dark voids had been completely cleared. In the human star region, there were still 2 locations with polluted blood remaining. The vermilion bird looked at the polluted blood with eyes full of disgust.
As expected, it's those filthy things. They want to use polluted blood to contaminate the great world. They must be courting death.
Without another word, it opened its mouth and spewed flames. At the same time, its body was also engulfed in raging flames. The terrifying fire contained origin power, so even Lin Moyu didn't dare to touch it directly. The flames burned the polluted blood, and the origin power pierced through the boundaries of time and space, destroying the polluted blood in the fire. The origin crystal was exposed, and the vermilion bird's flames became even more intense. Even its eyes shot out 2 beams of fire, like light beams, directed at the origin crystal. Countless black mists emerged from the origin crystal, like boiling black blood vaporizing, quickly being burned away. Under the vermilion bird's attack, the origin crystal gradually shrank, on the verge of being destroyed. Seeing a crack appear on the origin crystal, Lin Moyu suddenly felt uneasy, and a warning echoed in his soul.
Not good.
As soon as the thought arose, the origin crystal exploded with a bang, and a drop of black blood emerged from it. The black blood rapidly expanded, transforming into a vast ocean, engulfing Lin Moyu and the vermilion bird. The black ocean merged with the starry sky, appearing boundless. Lin Moyu felt his power being eroded. The ocean contained the origin power of the black blood great world, infiltrating every pore and contaminating him. This was the origin power from the black blood great world, so powerful that even the great world's runes would be severely damaged. Its terrifying nature was unimaginable. The only thing that could counter origin power was origin power. The undying golden body, having integrated origin fire, had some resistance but couldn't last long. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and the undying law emerged, with the power of death enveloping his entire body. The power of death corrodes everything, even black blood. However, facing origin power, the corrosion was slow, and Lin Moyu felt powerless. The power of death couldn't completely counter the erosion of the black blood, but it bought Lin Moyu some time. In front of him was nothing but black blood, and the vermilion bird was nowhere to be seen. Lin Moyu couldn't find it and had to leave first. He tried to use the space law, but in the black ocean, the space law was restricted and couldn't be used. It felt like he had entered another world, losing his connection with the great world. With no other choice, Lin Moyu randomly chose a direction, hoping to break out. In the black ocean, he couldn't last long and would eventually be eroded. Lin Moyu didn't know if the direction he chose was correct. Here, he had lost his sense of direction. He released the undead army, but the skeletons were immediately swallowed by the black ocean, losing contact with him. Methods that had always worked before were now ineffective. Lin Moyu felt deeply uneasy, sensing that this time he might be in big trouble.
Is this the black blood frenzy? It's indeed terrifying. No wonder even Supremes died in it. I wonder if the containment talisman array can contain the black blood frenzy.
Lin Moyu thought of a method, unsure if it would work. With no other options, he had to try every possibility. The containment talisman array flew out and activated, beginning to absorb the black blood. With a bang, the containment talisman array exploded on the spot, unable to withstand the black ocean.
The containment talisman array doesn't work either.
Lin Moyu sighed inwardly. This result wasn't unexpected. He thought of the ancient containment talisman, which might have a slim chance. With no other options, Lin Moyu began drawing the ancient containment talisman. At that moment, a red light appeared before him with flames flickering. He felt like he had stepped on something. Sensing a familiar aura, Lin Moyu was overjoyed. In the flames, the vermilion bird flew out with a sharp cry, carrying Lin Moyu on its back and breaking through the ocean. Light returned to his vision, and familiar starlight entered his eyes. Lin Moyu finally breathed a sigh of relief.
Thank you.
Lin Moyu thanked the vermilion bird. Finally breaking out, he was fortunate to have the vermilion bird. Otherwise, he would have been in danger. The vermilion bird didn't respond. After breaking out of the black ocean, its eyes became even sharper.
The black blood frenzy. They really triggered the black blood frenzy again. Fortunately, you destroyed several origin crystals, so this black blood frenzy isn't very powerful.
Lin Moyu also observed the black ocean spreading across the starry sky, seemingly endless. Sensing it, he estimated it spanned several light years. This was an incredibly vast black ocean. A small drop of black blood could transform into such an ocean, which was unimaginable. The power of origin was so strong that those who hadn't encountered it couldn't imagine it. Lin Moyu asked,
What should we do now?
The vermilion bird, though disgusted, remained rational and said in a low voice,
Don't rush, wait.
Wait for what? Lin Moyu soon understood what they were waiting for. Before long, 5 streams of origin power flew in from the distant starry sky, crossing space and injecting into the ocean. This scene was very familiar, just like when the Black Blood Great World summoned the River of Time. Without Lin Moyu, there should have been 10 origin crystals, far more powerful than now. Moreover, the activation area wouldn't be here. It should be in some dark void, closer to the human race and more threatening. After the 5 streams of origin power were injected into the ocean, it rapidly expanded, becoming even larger. The entire area grew from several light-years to over 100 light-years. The Black Ocean began to move, rolling towards the human star region at high speed. It wouldn't take long to reach the human star region. The vermilion bird said,
Fortunately, it's still far from the human race. We still have time. To destroy the Black Blood Frenzy, we must first destroy its origin. Now that the origins have surfaced, open the space gate, and let's quickly find them and destroy them one by one before dealing with the Black Blood Frenzy.
Lin Moyu said.
I have a way to accurately locate them.
The vermilion bird's eyes lit up.
That's even better. Hurry up.
The bone hell appeared, blocking the origin power of the Black Blood Great World. The origin power was very strong, almost instantly piercing through the bone hell. But Lin Moyu completed the positioning. Following the method, the locations of the polluted blood in the 4 battlegrounds were quickly determined.
Found them all.
Lin Moyu said, opening the space gate and sending the vermilion bird through. The space gate opened repeatedly, spanning hundreds of thousands of light-years. The first stop was the polluted blood at the other end of the human star region. Without a word, the vermilion bird spewed flames, beginning to destroy the origin crystal of the Black Blood Great World. Lin Moyu watched, murmuring,
First summon ancient powerhouses from the River of Time to attack the human race. Then trigger the Black Blood Frenzy to completely engulf the human star region and contaminate the Great World. Turning the Great World into a new Black Blood Great World, what a plan.
Lin Moyu had guessed the entire plan of the Black Blood Great World, and it seemed accurate. Now, thanks to him, the Black Blood Great World's plan was disrupted, forcing them to trigger the Black Blood Frenzy prematurely. Not only did the powerhouses summoned from the River of Time fail to damage the human race, but even the power of the Black Blood Frenzy was greatly reduced. So far, the human race hadn't suffered any harm, and the Black Blood Great World's plan, prepared for countless years, was mostly ruined. The vermilion bird was spewing flames madly, and the origin crystal was resisting but to no avail. Suddenly, Lin Moyu looked into the distance, seeing several red lines shooting towards them. The people of the Black Blood Great World had arrived. 2246, 2246.